Hello, welcome to Spy Money. We have, I guess I have changed the format on what I'm doing. I'm more of a futures guy. That's what I really enjoy, and it's where I make my money. I like to trade futures mainly, two reasons. One, there's more money. The second reason is it trades 23 hours a day. So no matter when I'm wanting to trade, I can trade other than, really 4:15 to 6 o'clock is usually when you don't trade. The futures will trade from 6 o'clock in the evening, Eastern Standard Time, to 5 o'clock the next day. Now, there is a break from 4:15 to 4:30, so you can't trade then. So what I do is I try to get out my trades by, say, 10 after 4. I try not to push it to the 15 after. So I try to get out by then. If you haven't made your money by then, you're not going to make it. The biggest thing with futures is, actually the market. We'll just say the market. The majority of the time, there is, and I don't know if I can pull this up, but there is a chart that I found on, let me find it here. There's the chart that shows when the market is moving the most. So let me see if I can pull this in. And it's not exactly the easiest to do this. And I should have had this ready, but I didn't. Windows capture. And yeah, this one here. Okay, so right here it is. This one is the difference between like your small cap overnight compared to during the day. So small cap being, I guess, like under 50 or so. So you can see at nighttime there's more trading at night. Okay, so with there being more trading at night, make sure, yeah, you can see it. More trading at nighttime, there's more money. There's 702% return overnight, more so than during the day, which is 53%. Minus 53% at that is showing this going down more than it is up. Now, let me show you this other one. Let's see, this one, open original. There we go. So on this one, make sure you can see that. Get it pulled up on my YouTube feed here. Let's see, it's not showing it on there. Give it a second there. It should be showing it. There's a delay on YouTube. Makes it a little bit hard. Okay, yeah, it is showing it. So on this one, it's showing after hours. There is more percentage after hours than there is during the day. So this is from like daytime trading. So there's minus 13% on SPY during the daytime. And then you go to a full day, like from 24 hours, then you're looking here. And then after hours, which would be in the evening, you're looking that there's better trading. So according to this, these two charts, which were actually pretty good, I liked them, they are showing that it's better to trade after hours than it is during the day hours, or even, I guess, pre-market even. So after hours is their best trading, so evening time. Some people can't trade during the daytime, so futures can help you trade in the evening or morning or in the middle of the night. Let's say you're a midnight worker, working graveyard shift, and you have the ability to, you shouldn't do it, I guess, but you have the ability to trade during the daytime or the nighttime while you're working. Some people do that. I'm not an advocate of trading while you're on company time, but some people do. So trading after hours, there's more movement. So if you go back to, just say yesterday, for instance, let's go back to a 15-minute chart. And you can see during the daytime from, which would be right here. Let's see here, let me do it this way. Let me do, let's see, from 9:30 to 4. Oops. Did that wrong. Let's see, we do 9:30 to 4 is right here. That's pretty much sideways. We had one little move at the end, but pretty much sideways. There's not a lot of movement there, okay? So if we take this one and go from So we go from 6 o'clock, which would be here, and we go to 9:30. You can see that you have a big swing there and a big swing here. So here is your movement. During the day, you don't have much movement. Okay, and if you come back here, you can see, well, here's the volume. You can see it easier. This right here is sideways. Then you got after hours, you got movement. Then if you come back over here, this day you actually did have movement on that, but you had a lot more movement after hours. So futures, trading futures is actually better in the sense that you're going to make more money because it's moving. If your candles are moving upward or downward, there's a lot of money there. So to go from, on this one, let's say you went from, just say you traded from 6 o'clock up until, that's 22 would be, so that's 9:30 right there. So you could have went up 26 points right there. So there's 26 points there, and from here to 6 o'clock is right in here, so you're looking at 16 points there. And then, let's just say you did get in at night and you just let it run on down. Before the opening even, right there is 57 points. So there's a lot more movement after hours than there is during the hours. So that's that's the reasons I trade futures. I can do it at my leisure. I'm not tied to 9:30 to 4. It's not that big a deal. 9:30 to 4 is a lot of times. I live close to the beach. I want to go to the beach. I want to ride my bikes. There's things I want to do during the daytime that, if you're trading during those times, you can't. But showing you those charts, it shows you that trading during the daytime, it's usually consolidation, and it's hard to make those moves. The only way you can make the move is if you can, chart out and guess appropriately that it's going to move overnight. But on this one here, if you would have got in, if you got in right here, so it closed here, and by the time it opened, let's see here, you would be right here. So if you guessed it right, then you would have had a 15-point drop on the ES there. Okay, so a 15-point drop is not that much on SPY. That's only like 1.5 points on SPY that it would have dropped. So it's not that big, not that much. So by the time it come down here and then it started coming up, right here, you're actually losing. If you're in calls, you're losing here. You would have to be about right here in order for you to make money again. So if you're up to here and then you've only got this little bit of much and then it's starting to come down, so if you bought your call right at the close, you would never make any money here because it's going sideways. Now this one right here, probably, I'm hoping that ES will actually bounce. We're on this VWAP, so I'm thinking it'll actually bounce on up. I'm looking for the 30-10 area, and we're going to go into this charts, but I just wanted to explain to you why I trade futures. That is the direction that I go. I have several future accounts set up. I have one in NinjaTrader, one in AMP, and I have one in TD Ameritrade. TD Ameritrade is very expensive to trade on in the sense that the margin is high. Between NinjaTrader and AMP, I like the multi-charts better on AMP more so than I do the NinjaTrader platform. They both have their advantages and disadvantages. I'm going to be trading on both, so we'll just see which one I end up with. So that's why I trade the futures. Okay, so let's get into what you're wanting to know is what direction are we going? Well, if we look at this one, Elon Musk, news just come through that said Elon Musk is going to open the Tesla plant in California regardless of what the politicians say. He doesn't care what the government says. He's going to open it. He's threatening to move his plant to Texas, which I think he ought to anyway. Get out of California. Just not a fan of California government. So anyway, if we look at this, we can see that the overall trend direction is upward on ES. We have ups and downs through here, but we're pretty much going up. Every time it dropped down, then it would come up. Okay, it had a little pullback and then went up. So if we look at this one, we went up, had the pullback, went up, We got this little pullback today, and then I think that it will actually take off tonight. Now the Feds got involved on this Sunday night, and that's what made this right here go up. The Feds were involved. And then it just dumped all night long, which shocked me. I didn't think it would. I thought it would have a little pullback and then take off here, but it dumped all night. We bounced on this pivot down here. We've also got on the, shoot, my mind just went blank. What's that called? Standard deviation. So we actually bounced on the standard deviation as well. This is the middle. Here's the top part. Here's the bottom part of a one deviation. So we actually bounced off of that, which is the middle is where it wants to stay. And if we look at this, we'll see that this stock tries to stay right through there, or underlining. It stays right through the middle. And then it'll come up, bounce, or it'll come up and then bounce up. It went up, come back down, bounced. This to me is a sign that it's going to go ahead and continue up. It may come back down, but the general direction with the VWAP and everything else, I think it's going to go that direction. Now today I drew a trend line across the top, and I was looking at these three to see what would happen when this come up, and I was hoping that it would break that and keep on going. If it broke it, then I felt pretty comfortable it was going up. We come down, we end up breaking it, and then we retested and double topped here, and we sold off. What I think will probably happen at 6 o'clock is I think that this will probably bounce here and just come on up, and we have to break this in order to go. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'll be trading when the market opens tonight. I didn't do much trading today. I actually took a bike ride. My wife and I took a bike ride and run around a little bit. So during the day, it usually don't move much. Today, it ended up, we had this rally right here. I was in on this rally, and I made some money. I just played future options. That way I could make money today and make something out of it, but wouldn't have to watch it. So, but right now, it looks like that we got this downward trend right here. And if we come back and look at this, so we draw a trend line, say from here. Right there. There's a chance we might go ahead and sell off, come down to here and bounce up. But I still think the overall trend is going up. I don't think that we're going to sell off here. Let's see, the Feds were supposed to start pumping at 8:30 this morning. I was kind of counting on that, and we actually did not do that. And if we look right here, you can see this actually is a good trend line. Even though we broke through here and here, it's still a good one. We've got this one, this one, this one. We've got that one and that one. And that puts us right there. So we're actually bouncing off of that. So that's a good sign that we will probably come on up. If we did have this little drop out here and here, but just because it drops out don't mean that this trend is not irrelevant. So looking at how many trends that, or how many candles have touched it, you can see that it's a pretty accurate trend. So a lot of people say that if you break the trend, it's no longer good. Well, it depends. If the overall trend is showing it, then you're probably okay. Where this come up, busted through it, it's come down retesting it. We could sell off here, but it looks like it's probably going up. If we take this one and bring this down, then we have a symmetrical triangle. It's kind of playing in. Even though it dropped out, we're still kind of playing the symmetrical triangle. So if we come out here, we could easily at 6 o'clock, we may gap up, we may gap down. We're above that pivot, which makes me think that we're going to continue up though. So that's my thoughts on ES. SPY is the exact same pattern. We're going to look at it as well. We're going to start making the market recap brief is going to be about the same. We're going to have the ES, the NG, NQ, NQ, or N. Let's see, wait a minute. NG, that's GC, so let's be. No, let's see. I had it right. NQ, there we go. So we're going to have ES, gold, so S&P 500, gold, natural gas, NASDAQ, and then SPY. That's the ones we're going to do. We'll eventually add oil back in it, but right now oil is got a lockdown on buying and selling, so I'm just going to leave that one alone until all that gets back to normal. So if we look at gold, Actually, let's go to SPY next because it's the same as ES. If we look at SPY, we're in the same exact pattern. So if we draw this one right here and bring this one down to there, and then if we bring this back and we click in here, let's see, right there. So we're picking up these three, picking up that one, and also up here. And if I change my drawing a little bit, maybe you can see it better. There we go. That took some of the lines out for you so you can see it better. But you can see that our trend is hitting right here. We're hitting right there on this one here. And then we're coming up. Let's see, we move that up just a little bit right there. So we hit here. We also hit there. And then we've got these two here. So when the market opens at 6, then we'll know what SPY is going to end up doing, which is going to be, like I said, the same as ES. We do have somewhat of a pennant there, symmetrical triangle rather, not a pennant. And then we've got this trend here that's coming right across. This is not a valid trend until we get at least 3 touches on it. Until we get 3, I don't consider it valid. But we can use it right now and see what's going on with it. So on this one, we've got a little bit of a trend coming down where it's coming up and bouncing, and then we've also got this trend line. So we'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen here, if it's going to drop out and keep on going, or if it's going to bounce up. My personal opinion is that we're going to bounce up. And so take this out. We don't need that in there. My personal opinion is going to bounce up. And we've got, we had a little bit of a head and shoulders where this has kind of come up, then we had our head, then we had our shoulder here, but it kept on going up. So that head and shoulders is no longer in play. And we can take this one out. We're going to dress up the drawings a little more. Like I said, we're just going to stick to these over here. I'll spend more time tomorrow night. I'm going to try to do the recap brief between 5 and 6 every evening. So if you can just kind of plan on that time, it's Eastern Standard Time, of course. I'm on the East Coast. So if we stick to these, I can spend more time on these and not so much on 20 other tickers. It's too much work to do 20 tickers. So a SPY, we're looking, we've got our 200, it's running up. So everything to me says up on it. And the general, trend from back when we had our bottom, and it just kind of keeps on coming up. We're leveling out more, but I still think that we can break the 30-10. If we go back to this 30-10, right here is where I think our first stop is going to be, probably around through here. And then 30-10, let's see here. It's going to be roughly rolling through here. I think we'll be there. I thought we'd be there by the end of today, but we didn't make it. So we'll have to see if we make it either tonight. But I thought it would actually be by 5 o'clock today. So when I talk end of day, I mean 5 o'clock, because 5 o'clock is when the future shut down. We've got gold. This is an old trend line that I had on there. Take that off. Gold has been running support right here. Okay, so right now we've got a trend line from, say, here. You come on down. Gold is running right across the top of that. So this is a descending triangle. The last time we had a descending triangle like that, it actually went up. This is a bearish sign, so we could easily pull down here. Where's it going to go? It's kind of hard to say. We've got our fibs up. These fibs are on a, let's see what we got them on. I think we got them on a 4 hours, what we got these on. So we went from right here down to here, and that's where we put in there. We could easily sell off and come back down to the 1600 range very easily. Last time we had a pennant similar to what we had was rolling through here, and then it just took off. So when it took off, I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was actually going to drop out here. The way the market's moving and stuff, everything, if the market looks like it's going up and the gold looks like it's coming down, So usually they do go inverse of each other. So if we go back to a 15-minute chart and look at gold, you can see it's been trending down pretty much all day. Yesterday, Sunday, it just kind of went up a little bit, most of consolidation. Friday, or actually, see, that was Friday, and then Thursday, it actually went way up. This would have been a good one to get in. You could have picked up a lot of money on that from 1694. So been 30, 40. So roughly 40. That's just one GC contract. I mean, that would have been about $4,000 just on that one. So just buying one of them. So it looks like gold is actually coming down now. I would be careful trading it coming out at 6 o'clock. This one ended up coming up over top of this 20. If it does that today, we did hit it here and pull back. There's a good chance that this may go ahead and sell off at opening. Indicators and such kind of look that way. Just play it safe on it and look at it before you get into it. Go back to a 5-minute. 5-minute shows that it's trying to come up, but I mean it's just been a roller coaster. A lot of consolidation through there. There's some big moves, but you got to be careful getting in them. Right now it's just going sideways. But we got this 200 coming down. It could easily push it down. So be careful if you're going to trade that at 6. Then you have NG. NG I thought would be at 164 by 5 o'clock today. We ended up going sideways pretty much all evening last night, and then all last night. And then this morning it shot way up, and then it pulled way back down. So it's almost like a heartbeat there. And with the NG, it is going, let me pull up to a 4-hour. The NG, I have this trend line going up through there. Now it broke through, but it actually pulled back down through. Then we've got this other one coming across the bottom.
Connection lost.
So coming across the bottom, that's my Ninja Trader signing out. Coming across the bottom, it is showing a good trend line here, but we also had this support line coming across, and that support come from way back. See if I can get it opened up. The support line, you can't see it now, but it come from way back here straight across. And then this trend line coming across down through here has been a descending trend. So my thought was that we would actually sell off and come back down and retest this trend line and then take back off. That is my thoughts on it. It is looking like that it's trying to do it, but it's got a little bit of support lines through here. If you look back through here, you'll see, just give you an idea from here over to, let's see here, roll through here. It's where most of your support is. So we bring this one down a little more. There you go. So this is where most of your support is. Will it break out, up or down? I think that it will actually break down, and then we will test and then come back up, and that's when I think that we will actually make a new high. I do think that it's going to pull back more though. So we'll have to wait and see. I think tonight is probably when we're going to know for sure which direction it's going to go. And it's showing, just sideways right here. So it's not really showing a definitive way yet. And if we look at our 15-minute, 15 is the same, it's just going sideways. So we did try to test that and come back down. I think this might come up and test that 200 again, and I think the 200 I should push it down. If we go back to a 1 hour, you can see the 1 hour's turned down. So I think that's the direction we're going. Now if we look at a 4 hour, 4 hours trying to turn up, but it's still got that little curl right here. I just think we'll come down and hit this trend line, and when we do, then I'll load up on calls and then just ride this on up, because I think this will be the last bounce we have. There's a good chance it might just be right here. This may consolidate over the rest of the night, this 200, and then it pop back up. So it could easily do that as well. So that's where I am with NG. NG is a good one to trade. It's got good moves. Like right here, I was in this whole move right here. I was in this move coming down, and I was in that move going up. NG is a very good one to trade. Low margin too. Thinkorswim is I think $2,400 for each contract, so it's low margin. You can if you got a smaller account, you can afford to trade that easier. Where Thinkorswim has a $13,000 margin on ES, whereas in NinjaTrader has 500, AMP has a 400. We go to NQ. NQ has been running this channel, and we are at the top of that channel, which tells me that ES could even move back. If it breaks this channel, because eventually it's going to break this channel one way or the other. So if we break this channel, then we could continue to run on up. As far as where we're going to go, yeah, this will be a long shot, but 97.63, that would be a direction we could easily go. But, I mean, that's not going to happen overnight. And if we go back to a 15... the 15 is, I mean, it's try to break it here, come back down, broke up there. Our 200's pushing it up. This could easily push it way on up and just break it and go. We did have this big old sell-off last night, or this afternoon. It sold off right there at the end, but we are trying to turn back up. So we'll see what happens when we open it up. Overall direction, I think that we will probably continue up. Like I said, though, where we were staying in this channel, this could easily back out and then come on down. Depends on what the market makers are doing. Feds are going to be pumping the market again on Wednesday, so I don't think this is going to drop that far by then, so I think that we will probably continue up. So that is our market that we're going to be looking at, and I hope you, if you're not familiar with futures, we have courses online at SpyMoneyLLC.com. And they're not very much, a few $100, and you can learn what you need to know about futures. If you are a active trader now, and you already have your strategy set up, and once you learn how to do the futures, then you'll probably like it a lot better. When you try to trade the equities, it again, like in the beginning when I was showing you those charts, equities just trade sideways. They do not trade. I'll pull it back up here. The equities do not, let's see here, go to that one there. Oh no, so let's go back here. You can see the equities during the day are pretty much trading sideways. It's hard to make money going here, and that's why 95% of the traders lose money, because the majority of the traders are on 9:30 to 4. That's where they trade. So that's why it's so hard to make money. All your market makers and your banks and everybody, the institutions, they're trading here, and they're making all kinds of money. So they will make the market move as soon as 4 o'clock closes, then they'll take off and make it move. And they'll move it all night long back and forth. So this is where your money is. That's why you want to trade futures. It may not work for you. It does cost a little more money to buy a future over equities, but if you think about it, if you spend say $1,000 in SPY, and it's going to cost you 20 contracts, say, let's say $1,000, the normal contract's usually around 150 or so, so probably looking say 10. So if you bought $2,000 worth, which would be equivalent to about one future contract, depending on what you buy. I mean, you can buy some cheaper, but you're going to spend 20 commissions to buy this. So you're going to spend, let's say your commissions on ES or TD Ameritrade is 65 cents. I don't pay that much, but that's what their rate is. So you're going to pay $1.30 for each contract. So if you buy 20 of them, you're going to pay, what is that, $26 if I did my math right. And so you're going to spend $26 in commission, where if you bought one future contract, you're going to spend, I think their rate is $2.25, so plus your fees. So you're going to spend about $6 or so by the time you add the SEC fees and stuff in it. So you're going to spend about $6 for the same amount of money. And your future contract, your future option is going to make more money than what your SPY money is compared across the percentages and stuff. Because with your one thing you want to buy at the money, or say one or two out of the money. You don't want to buy very far down unless you're going long and you trust it. But I prefer to just scalp. So, and another thing is your tax advantages on futures. Futures, Well, equities, you're going to pay, depending on how you're set up. But if you're just set up as an individual, you're going to spend, say you make $100,000, and if you're on a 30% tax bracket, you're going to spend $30,000 in taxes. Where if you have futures and you make $100,000, the first $60,000 is based at 15%. So that's going to be what, $7,500? If I didn't, $9,000 there, and then you're going to spend your ordinary income on the last 40, which is 30%. So that's going to be another $12,000. So you're going to spend, what's that, 20? I can't even do my math now. 40, 12, 9, 21,000. So you're going to save about $9,000 in taxes to trade futures over your equities. So the taxes is better. You got more hours to trade. If the market starts changing, you can get out about any time you want, other than 4:15 to 4:30 in the afternoon or 5 to 6 in the evening. So that's the only time you can't trade them. And honestly, you can't trade equity futures then either, so it really don't matter. So that's why I trade futures. That's why we're going to this format. I'm going to keep it more onto this. I'm going to have some better charting coming out on the tomorrow night. It'll be a lot better, a little more organized, and have it to where you can see where we're going. I'm going to start adding some more stuff in. If I have less charts to look at, I can spend more time on those charts. So I hope this helps you guys, and please like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you're looking to get into more of a futures type Discord, that is the direction that we're going. We still do options for equities and so forth in there. There's a lot of people trading equities, talking about different trades. I still do equities occasionally, but I'm more of a future trader. And so if you're interested in that, if you don't know how to do it, go on our website, SpyMoneyLLC.com. You can find a course on there. We do future option course, a future contract course. We even do a strategy for options on there. And I'm getting ready to upload a strategy for future contracts. And there's a live trading that is done on each of those courses to actually see what you're doing. And you just keep watching those over and over until you get the strategy that we use. Again, like, share, and subscribe. And thank you, Robert. We will see you in the Discord. I'm going to do some more voice call outs and so forth. So when I'm trading, you'll actually hear what I'm doing, what I'm thinking. You won't see my screen, but you'll see your screen. So that'll actually help you. And I will see you guys later. Have a good night.